Hey, welcome to How to Build Your Own Home. I want to talk about foundations today. We are actually going to film and show you two separate foundations for two separate homes. They're both slab on grade. This one here is a Washington project, and it's going to be a series on its own. The unique thing about this home is it has an ADU built into the entire design of the home. So when the client moves into the home, they can actually rent out that ADU. We got it approved by the city. It's really awesome. The best thing is she'll have a positive income of close to $1,300 to $1,400 a month when she moves into the home. Again, this is a trend I believe needs to happen in the country so that we actually stop building large apartment complexes and bringing rentals inside communities, so we have that mix of new families, old families, that kind of stuff. One of the things I've seen when I used to live in Southern California, everybody moved out into the valley, then they moved out to Lancaster, then they moved out to Barstow. They kept moving further and further out because that's where the affordability was. Well, I believe that that's not very healthy for cultures or for commerce or for community. Trying to keep people in the communities and rebuilding and rejuvenate communities, that's what needs to happen. So let's walk through this foundation here. And I'm going to give you a couple of things to look at, things to consider in your own builds. And we'll go over to the other job, which is going to be another home that we're showing a foundation on. That's a 20,000 square foot home. This one here is roughly around 3,000 square feet. So you're going to see some big differences in foundations and whatnot. Let's start off right here. If you notice here in the footing here, I like to have what is close to a 12-inch turn down. So what's a 12-inch turn down? That's where you see your batter boards, your concrete boards here, and you have them almost clear here, a whole 12 inches. So what that means is I don't have dirt in that particular area, and that gives the foundation a lot of stability. It's also kind of where you need for the wall and support of the wall. A lot of times people will kind of chintz on that or cheat on that, and they'll bring the dirt too close to the board. You're not going to have that turn down, you're not going to have that strength. I do the same thing in the garage. We'll be pouring the garage later on this. The very lip of the garage, right where you drive in, on that very small section, I like to do a turn down there, because I've seen some garages where they just do a 3.5-inch slab, cars run over it, crack it and break it, and then you got a terrible garage. So keeping it thick where it's most opportune, the best to keep that concrete thick, that's where you want to make sure you do that. Let's walk over here. Okay, over here I've got a strap, of course. This is a strap that comes up. I've got some stud work here, probably a triple ply stud, and that just gets right mounted to that. So in order to pass inspection, we had to have all of our straps situated and ready to go. And if you notice all right here, I've got 3 conduits. I got one for high voltage, and that's all underground. That was put in before they poured the footing, because I've got the footing already poured in there. Then I've got 2 additional conduit, one for low voltage and another one for sprinkler systems or any low voltage inside the house. So again, one will be for cable, TV, stuff like that, and the other one would be for your other landscaping needs. And getting those embedded inside the foundation is just a lot cleaner look. A lot of builders, they just wrap coming up the side and mount it, and you see all your conduit on the outside. This way it will be encased inside the wall. It's a very clean look. You just have to get your electrician to come and make sure that you get the conduits there. And this here is a UFA ground. This here was put in the foundation. It goes all the way down to the bottom, and it actually runs this way, perpendicular, almost 20 feet. And that's electrical code. Some of them ask for this UFA ground to be out in the dirt. Some of them ask for 2 of them, 8 feet apart. But in my local jurisdiction, it's just 1 UFA ground. So the ground of the meter panel gets grounded to that, which then gets grounded inside the foundation. So again, getting all these things done and prepped and ready in advance is really a lot of scheduling. Then right over here we have a bathroom right over here. And I always like, a lot of plumbers do this, they'll box out the drain on the tub and give it some flexibility, which is why you see this box of dirt right there. It gives them the opportunity to just adjust that tub just a little bit. If it's straight in concrete, you really can't move that. It's going to be really, really difficult. Same thing with the pipe coming up here. You notice we've got some foam wrapped around that. That also gives that pipe just a little bit of movement. If it comes straight into the concrete, let's say that there's an earthquake or some slight settling, then it could pinch or crack that concrete, or not the concrete, but the pipe. This is regular ASB pipe, and it's not as soft as regular PVC pipe, and so it can crack. So giving things that little bit of flexibility is really, really an opportune thing to do. Let's walk over here. Okay. Did I just say the word opportune? I just say it's a good thing to do. That's my English coming back. We got some spot footings over here, and we're just going to monolithically pour these so that you get it done. Sometimes a lot of concrete guys will just pour the footing first with some rebar coming up, but we're just going to do the whole thing at once, and we'll have a bracket that will come into there and some rebar so that you can actually have some J-bolts so we can tie down some frame structure to build our posts for our back porch area over here. And then over here, when you look at rebar, you want to make sure you're at least 2 inches from any dirt and at least 2 inches from any board. We know that concrete is porous. It absorbs water. So inspectors come out and they want to make sure there's chairs there. And the chair will keep that rebar at least 2 inches off the dirt and embedded into the concrete. If it's too close, they'll spot you on it, and if it's like 4 or 5 cases of that, the inspector may just say, hey, fix your rebar, but my concrete guy is really, really good at it. So we've got it all separated. This is going to be a 4-inch slab. I raised it up a 1/2 inch. You're going to see the finish on this job. That's going to be kind of interesting because we're going to do a power wash on the foundation. We're going to do a finished floor. So we're going to actually see the aggregate. I'm trying to see if we can't get some pea gravel to be exposed rather than the aggregate in regular concrete. In our area, the aggregate is kind of small, not more than 2 inches, maybe about 1.5 inches. I'm trying to go with a pea gravel to give more color in the floor. So we're going to power wash this just after they finish it, and then it will expose the aggregate, which is why I'm increasing the thickness of this slab another 1/2 inch. So it's going to be 4 inches thick. It gives me a little bit of a comfort room with regard to that. We'll do some control cuts on here, and then I'm going to have my painter come and caulk in the control cuts, and then we're going to do a finish coat, not the finish coat, but a cured coat to help with the protection of the floor while during framing and everything else that's going to happen on the floor. So we're going to go for something I've never done before. I've done it on sidewalks and pools and stuff like that, but I've never done it inside. I've done some polished concrete, but not exposed aggregate. So this is going to be a different look for me. So I'm excited to see how it comes out. One other thing over here is this here is a conduit for an island, a kitchen island. Now you have to make sure that this stuff here goes under the rebar and into the dirt. I've seen mistakes where they just come and plop it down on top of the dirt, and you've got a weak point in concrete there, and that's good. It's going to crack right there. So keep your conduit in the dirt underneath the rebar. And you'll see that we've got some shovel footings over here. This is going to be a spiral staircase going up, and you'll have shovel footings in there. And I've got some other additional shovel footings over here and other shovel footings over there. The plans usually call that out. And so make sure that those are in your home if you have any shovel footings. Most of the time you'll have them right under your stairs because you need the extra support of concrete to hold the stairs, which is why we have the shovel footings over there for that stair system over there. I want to show you another recessed shower over here. If you've seen me on previous jobs, I love recessed showers, especially in slab on grade. This is a slab on grade. So we're putting in this frame structure here, and basically the concrete will only come up, it's going to come up to the top of that, but on the inside, it's going to stop to just down at the bottom. Some concrete guys like to do 3 inches, others do 2 inch. The bigger the shower, the deeper you want that recessed shower to be, because you want to be able to slope it right to the drain, which is right over here. So we went with about closer to a 3-inch recessed, and that allows concrete to be at the bottom, but the tile guy is going to come in, fill in his pan after that, put a bladder in there and put his grout in there and slope it just perfectly. Again, the bigger the shower, the deeper you want that recessed. Typically, nothing less than 2 inches on a recessed shower. And when we pour this, you're going to see it's going to look really, really cool. In fact, if we do polished concrete, if we do the power wash, that would be cool to kind of do that in the whole shower. It's just a thought I had. I'll have to bring that up with the client. So again, we got some other risers here. All of our tie downs are everywhere. Again, we got another shovel footing over here, another tub over there. All my rebar looks good. We're really, really level. We got our compaction tests all good. Inspection from the city is all good. We're good to pour, and we're gonna pour this at 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Why so early? Because today it's gonna be 110. Tomorrow it's gonna be about the same. So if you get 3 to 4 hours in the morning, and we'll have some lights out here, then it gives cooler hours for it to cure slowly, and then they can finish it exactly the way we want. And yes, concrete trucks in a lot of areas will deliver that early. You just have to double check. So we just can't pour this at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. You're gonna be fighting heat. And that concrete's gonna be setting up so fast, you're just not gonna get the fresh look that you want. So tomorrow morning, we'll pour this at 3 o'clock, and I'll come and show you the finished look. They'll be pouring the garage the day after all that, after they pull the forms. And then I'm gonna go order my lumber package because it can get here next Monday. So I'm gonna go get that ordered, get it here, and we'll give you this series. This one here is the Washington job, the Washington build. Again, this is gonna have a home with an ADU built into it, so it's got a revenue model built into the home. And I'll show you the plans right here. It's a beautiful home. Awesome, I'm excited about it. And if you wanna know more, check us out at howtobuildyourownhome.com. Let's go to the other job. Okay, this here is the other job, another slab on grade, but this one here is about 20,000 square feet, including garages and all that. Finished square feetage on the main level is about 14,000 square feet. So yeah, it's a big home. So this here, we got the footings already poured. They're putting in the boards. I always like to have the boards put in before my plumber comes in, because they can actually pull accurate measurements from the board. It's really hard for your plumber to pull measurements from a string. They have to have 2 people to do it. But if you've got your boards up, like you see over here, we got the boards up getting installed, the plumber can come up, put a tape right up against that, get an accurate measurement. So they're installing all those, getting additional rebar supports inside. But we poured the footings, as you can see, throughout. And this is a massive home. We're gonna get excited. We're calling this particular series Tranquil Storm. That's the name my client actually wants to call it, because in his home he's got a storm of kids, and this is going to be tranquility, so a tranquil storm of a family that loves to have fun. So we're going to have a lot of interesting things with this home. I'll show you over the course of it. A sunken trampoline inside the frame structure of the home. A lot of neat fun things on that. But we'll come back, we'll do another video, and we'll showcase the massive rebar, the flat, how level it is. We'll do all the underground as well. I just wanted to show you, this is the second foundation. This one here is where the one we just showed you was about a week ago. So it shows you how things change, and this can be really, really clean, really nice and level. We'll come back and do a video on that. But this is the second one, called Tranquil Storm, and series. Follow us on a custom home for a client here in Southwest Utah.